Tony, the book officially launched today. How do you feel to have that sort of out the way and that's it out there now?
Yeah, James, it's a real strange feeling inside. I actually feel quite emotional. Seeing all the press there today, which was unbelievable, but actually to see the book in print, it's in years. Norman, I've been meeting up with Norman MacDonald for a few years now, just going through things and speaking about my life, and to see it like that today, it's so surreal.
What was it like doing the book over these years with Norman and recalling some of these stories that you maybe hadn't thought about for a long time?
That's true, and Norman, I must give Norman MacDonald, I mean, he's a fantastic writer for a start, but he's one of these guys, we're going back 40 years and 45 years, or even longer, and he actually took me into that journey. So you're right, I mean, everybody's life and my life is no different. There was a lot of, I'm really blessed in life, but there was a lot of downs in life as well, and tragedies, which is in everybody's life. So to go through that again, and I'll be totally honest, to go through my childhood, which was quite difficult, and then the biggest thing probably was the illness Tony took, and then the death of Tony, and try to, as a family, cope with that. And Norman had to take me into that to get the real sort of feelings, so he could write it as well. So there was days, I must admit, I was exhausted, and very emotional, and part of my, you've probably seen the book, my nickname as a kid was Greeting Face, because I always cried, so a lot of tears as well, but there was a lot of happiness as well, a lot of happiness through the book. It brought up back great memories, especially my football career, the cup final of course, 87, but making my debut for St Mirren was a massive thing, because when you have a dream as a 4-year-old or 5-year-old wanting to be a footballer, and you follow that through, and you're actually running out to make your debut for a professional team, something I can't even explain.
Even if you look at sort of the last 2 years with your involvement in the club, you could have probably written a book on that as well.
And maybe there's another book there, James, you're right. But that's been a wonderful journey as well, since Gordon came in, and again, we were near the depths of getting relegated, and the last 18 months of that journey with Jack Ross and James Fowler coming in, and the whole place just, we went, and I think you were a big part of that as well, James. You go on an incredible journey. We had success, and the fans galvanised again, the whole town. So to go through that, it's worth all the heartache in life to even experience that. But it's been 2 years, and the story continues with the club.
How far does the book cover in terms of, obviously, from the start?
Well, that was strange, because the book was finished. The book was finished, but with the up to me becoming chief exec, and then with Jack winning that was the game. That was it finished. That was the final chapter. Then just before it went into print, the stuff happened with Alan, and then Oren coming in. So we've added that, so it goes up to the Oren. Yeah, so it's up to date.
Yeah, so you're pretty much as up to date.
It's up to date as we can be. Yes.
Yep. Obviously, this will be a book that many St Mirren supporters will really be interested in terms of that. Also, one you think generally Scottish football supporters will be interested in.
I hope so, James. I think, most of my life's football, of course, but I'd like to think people can identify it's a life story. And I know my football's been a big part of that life, but as I say, there's a journey for childhood and through different things in my life. So I'm hoping people relate to that in their own lives and think, God, I remember that, or that's what happened to me, or no. So it's more, I like to think it's more than just a football story. There is good, hopefully funny stories in it, in the football, and yes, of course there's that. But there's been a life as well outside football for me. I've had when I look at myself and I started to speak about my life, like anybody's life, there's been an incredible journey in there.
Yeah, and in terms of like the stories that you recall in the book, is there any one story or any several stories in particular you're excited or anxious for people to kind of to read?
Yeah, I think the ones, as I say, early, like Sir Alex Ferguson, there's a few stories in about that in the early days, and I think which caught imagination of people, and Sir Alex doesn't even, I'm sure he does know, but he's as when my dad impersonated Dr. McClure, so as I could play, to prove to him that I could play football. So there's things like that in it. There's dressing room stories, of course, which is quite funny, because with characters with Frank McGarvey, Frank McAvenny's, Frank McDougall, all these characters were within that dressing room, so there's stories about that as well, hopefully. And coming for Poso as well, going back the way, coming for Poso, of course, there's stories for there, there's tales for there. So hopefully it does make a real interesting read. There's, of course, the football is very vital in my life, but out with it there's a lot of hopefully funny and also sad stories.
For anybody that's interested in the book, where can they get it?
Yeah, well, they can get it in the, I think it's www.fitzybook.co.uk. So that's fitzybook.co.uk just now. Hopefully there is going to be something, signings and stuff like that, maybe at the club, or there's talk of Braehead as well, so hopefully there'll be signing opportunity for people to get it. But that's the best place to now to get it, is again, I'm getting used to this, plugging the book, is fitzybook.co.uk.
Tony, thank you very much.
James, thank you.